So about 2 years ago, I decided to start doing Instagram pages, Instagram accounts, and I used the audience to monetize the accounts and generate an income. And I'm sure you've seen like loads of this all over YouTube. There's people that make money off of Instagram. And the key thing with Instagram is that lots of people don't realize the money doesn't come from monetization, because as a platform, you can't actually make any money off of Instagram. You've got the link in bio, and that's pretty much it. There's a few ways to make money, same with Facebook, but it doesn't have an RPM like YouTube or TikTok Shop affiliate scheme, and it hasn't got the creator program. So anyway, I decided to do an Instagram page, and I'd use AI to make AI generated content. Now, by AI automation, what I really mean is this. So obviously it's very easy to just say, AI automation, just assume AI is doing everything. So AI, I could have the voiceovers. So I'm sure, as I mentioned, 11 Labs, great software. Of course, you can do AI images. Everyone knows you can do this. And the best part about AI images is you'll see AI video online, and you can use these images as like the beginning and end frames. And from that, you can create AI video content. Not a very high FPS. So what I do is like kind of a 16 FPS video. And then you can use software to then increase that 32 FPS. And then all I do is have, trending audios. And then just in editing, put the trending audios and the voiceover with the video. And you've got a whole reel completely done by AI. And then all you need is a system to automate all of this. And you're making complete reels, the whole package, simply with AI. It's great. And it sounds unrealistic, because I set out this goal to get millions of followers, make lots of accounts, link in bio, and make loads of money. And it sounds really unrealistic, and that's because it was. There's another side to it, which I'll explain later, but moral of the story is the content got easier and easier to create, which I thought was great. And I'd use tools and outsource things, and the improvement of AI made things easier. And it felt like free money, and it was very, very easy. And of course, it didn't go well. And I'll explain later why it didn't. So I found a YouTube video a long time ago on Instagram, and they were selling digital products via the link in bio. And this is pretty much the only way to monetize via Instagram. And I decided that I'd use AI to create all of the content faceless, and I'd have a bit of a process going. So I'd use the AI to create the content. I'd use trending audios that I research online. I'd make all of this content AI faceless and then post it. And then eventually my process got a little bit more refined, and I could make more of these, posting many, many times a day. The growth was really, really good. I ended up getting like 100,000 followers on the first account in only a few months, which I didn't think was too bad. It was looking great. I kept growing, and as I grew, I did more posts and dove into more trends. And to keep up with this, I'd outsource and use software. So the tools I used were this online platform called Buffer. And Buffer, you can use all of your social media accounts and link them together onto the one page, and then upload all of your content, do the copy, so like the descriptions and the hashtags, whatever, and then either post it straight from Buffer or schedule it into the future, which was really helpful. And that kind of helped manage my workload. And this also enabled me to have multiple accounts, because you can have 4 or 5 Instagram accounts going, and all of them run from the same place, which is great. I kept all of the Instagram accounts I did make kind of under the same niche, obviously to make it easier for myself, but I wanted to create a brand, which, as I'll explain later, didn't end up working. Obviously, in all of the accounts, I'd have the link in bio. And the link in bio was in all of these multiple accounts. And I'd even grow out onto other platforms. So I grew an audience going onto TikTok, X, Threads. Didn't end up liking Threads, but I pretty much tried them all. Another problem I had, and oh god, this just sounds so stupid. Now I'm looking back at it, of course, is with platforms. Now, the problem I had with platforms is that obviously my main thing was Instagram. So as we all know, Instagram has a high, audience, and is really good for branding, but it's very low on monetization. So you've got to utilize this to kind of drive traffic to like a website, whatever it be, with link in bio. TikTok is kind of the opposite. So TikTok, you'd have maybe quite a good, like an okay audience with TikTok. You know, people recognize TikTokers, of course. But then the revenue would actually be a bit higher once you get into the creator program and also TikTok Shop. The thing is with TikTok Shop is the commission is really, really high. It's really good. And then I had X, and I had... I'll put Twitter there, in case you're a regular person. I was going to say old person, a bit harsh. Twitter there, and that was pretty much it. I dabbled with Threads, but that's a bit of a dud. I'll explain that one in a minute. X and Twitter is a very similar thing to Instagram. You can't really monetize. I mean, you can. It's better than Instagram. But the thing is with Twitter is it's really good for an audience and a brand. So I'll put brand there as well. That's very good. And Threads is literally like just Instagram wanting to be like Twitter. And it's the same thing except the audience is smaller. Don't really recommend that one. But the problem I made is I treated all of these like the same platform, giving them the same content. I put my Instagram content on TikTok, I put it on Twitter, I put it on Threads, and that is not what you want to be doing. Don't do what I did. It didn't work out. And the really valuable part was learning what the algorithms like and what they don't. And the key thing to take away at the time was the first few seconds of any short form content is the most important. There's no two ways about that. Getting a good hook, as many people would say. Consistent posting is the other one. Made it way easier through these automation tools, which I'll get into why it wasn't such a good thing later on. And if you want me to do a video in the future, let me know about, you know, AI automation for content creation. It was really, really interesting. But anyway, they helped save me loads of time and free up production capacity. I could also, as I say, schedule posts in the future, which is super helpful. Say I had something coming up. You know, I still worked a regular job like most people. And it just gave me that flexibility. And the earnings growth was fantastic. So as with all things social media, you start out for a while earning nothing. That's just how it works. And then once I got to about 100,000 followers, I started making quite decent money. I'd make a few $100 here and there, which was really good through the, obviously, link in bio selling digital products. And I went up to a 2K month, which was really good for me. Never made that sort of money outside of a job before. That did take a while. That took about a year. So I had some issues. Obviously, I had that growth early, which was really, really good. I had some issues with Instagram flagging content that didn't have anything wrong with it. And I know lots of creators will have this. It's just depending on what niche you're in. And new accounts as well are a bit more sensitive. But anyway, I continued to grow, and I also continued to kind of like refine my process, figured out how to make Instagram work for what I was doing. And I had a 1K day, which was crazy. $1,000 in a day. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And that's not revenue either. That's profit. That's after all of my expenses, which is unbelievable. And this is kind of where it all went wrong. Now, this would have actually been kind of easy to see with hindsight, and it kind of sounds silly talking about it now, but I had no idea what was going on. I was riding a trend this entire way through, and I was playing it quite well. Obviously, I made money off of it. And I wasn't building a business at all. It was literally just following a trend. And there's a huge difference between those two, which I kind of found out the hard way. And essentially what happened is that without branding, I would be constantly chasing trends the entire time. And there'd be a few repeat customers I had, but it was pretty much new customer, buy something, never see them again. So I did realize this before I kind of lost all the revenue. And to counter this, I'd try and add some sort of improved service, change something about the product to stand out. And mainly, I'd stay on top of trends. I'd research trends, trending audios, trending video styles, and try and be one of the first creators to get that out, which is obviously quite difficult. But this just wouldn't work. This chasing trends thing just wouldn't work because A, anyone can do it. And B, there's always going to be someone with a bigger budget, bigger team to do it better and faster. Because this was really easily done at scale with automations, it meant everyone else can do it. Because everyone else can do it, competition was really, really high in this Instagram kind of AI-generated content niche. As you can guess, with the higher competition and no brand, it very quickly kind of fizzled out to who could get the most videos out rather than who can make the best content, because all the content's the same. So if it's all the same, it just comes down to volume. This diluted revenue, and it made it quite unsustainable. It, pretty much flatlined. I had some other people in the niche I was talking to. They had similar issues. Some people were able to, make it work with branding. Obviously, with hindsight, I definitely what I should have been doing, but I didn't know at the time. And it went from, 1K days to not even $1 an hour. And I'd be working on this a few hours every day for months and months and months on end. Bearing in mind, I also had a job. And it fizzled out, and it was crazy. I thought I was doing so well, made good money off of Instagram, but it was so unsustainable. I kind of wish I did have that hindsight. I could go back and, brand my content and find a way to stand out. And by changing the brand a little bit, I probably would have lost kind of this trend that I was riding, but then it would have been more sustainable and the revenue would have continued to grow. So the moral is that branding is so important and you need to protect yourself. And yes, trends are great, but you need to stand out from your competition in products and content to make your work more sustainable.